we're running a 1v1 tournament today. If you guys are interested in joining a 1v1 tournament, free to play, we are giving away $50 to the winner of this tournament. If you're interested, join our Discord. The link for Discord will be in the description below. Is NBA 2K23 worth it in 2023? Happy New Year to all. Wishing y'all all a safe and pleasant start to your new year. 2023 is here. And I know a lot of folks got 2K23 for Christmas. You got all the Christmas noobs, and you also got all the players that get back on just to take advantage of the Christmas noobs. Now, personally, I haven't been playing the game nearly as much as I did when it first released. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I intend to get back on starting today. We're going to be doing a lot more within our Discord community and me getting on the game running with you guys. But one of the main reasons why I got off the game is because it started to feel like a chore. The level of goofiness was just at an all-time high. I'm not absolutely certain if things done changed since last I played the game, but in my opinion, it's highly doubtful. But where did NBA 2K23 go wrong? Because as Mike Wang put it, we're not touching gameplay. But it was clear as day obvious that Mike Wang and the dev team for 2K were definitely touching gameplay, whether intentional or unintentional. The gameplay certainly changed from day one. Where do y'all think 2K went wrong? What happened to interior defense where interior defense was shining in the beginning of the year? Do you guys think that interior defense was just shining in the beginning of the year because finishers just didn't have their players built up high enough, like with enough badges and attributes? In my opinion, that's still no excuse, because that just means that the mechanic was broken from the start of the game. Upon release, the interior defensive mechanic was already broken, but we as players couldn't see it because other finishers didn't quite build up their players yet. So the interior defense mechanic was just hidden away. There's some huge changes that I like about 2K23 in regards to containing point guards out there, where point guards just don't have full reign on the court. A half decent defensive minded type of player will be able to contain a point guard. But that helps me segue into the next issue that I have with 2K23 is the clunkiness in the movement. Things don't seem seamless, smooth in motion. In previous years, when you had momentum driving to the rack, that momentum kind of led into a smooth animation in order to finish in the paint. But now what I'm noticing a lot in 2K23 is that you kind of go into two separate animations. You get your dribble animation and then a noticeable kind of slight delay before you take off, and it just doesn't seem seamless. It's like having your gun jam on Call of Duty. And although we may get hyped about scoring 2 points, I more so look at the details of the game so I know where we're headed. This is what I've been doing. When I play the game, I'm analyzing to see where we're headed. What is 2K24 going to look like? Is there going to be improvement? Because overall in NBA 2K23, the mechanics may overall be okay for most players. A lot of you guys are finally hitting your shots, which you couldn't hit before in previous versions of 2K. A lot of folks are able to rim run, which they couldn't do in previous versions of 2K, at least not the good majority of the previous versions. So in regards to offense, which a lot of people like to score, kind of boosts your endorphins and makes you feel good. But that high is meant by an extreme low as you continually play NBA 2K23, because what you guys do one game, the scope of what you guys are capable of completing one game, you are unable to make happen the very next game. And sure, there's a bunch of factors to consider, the defensive players, but we're talking about, because I mentioned, I like to analyze the gameplay to see where we're headed. Let's say a lane is wide open. One game you're gonna get this super large takeoff, especially for those players who have limitless takeoff at higher levels. But then the next game with the same lane, the open lane to the rack, you're gonna get put into a layup animation. And it's those inconsistencies that really frustrate me to see. And the reason why they frustrate me is because I know that's part of the coding. The facts for me is that something is missing missing in NBA 2K23. That fun factor is just not there. But I was referencing those inconsistencies in the gameplay that make it somewhat unplayable for me personally, at least at a competitive level. I can't see myself playing the game super competitive and taking it serious, all because 2K is just too involved. You see, for me as a player, what makes me feel comfortable in almost any game is like learning the moves to see what animations come up. So if you queue up some type of combination on your controller, you're guaranteed to get those moves to show up in regards to animations. And it seems to me in NBA 2K23 that those animations are pure RNG. You really never know what you're gonna get. One game 2K will have you queuing up the absolute most amazing animations in your favor as a player, and then the very next game you're getting the short end of the stick and you guys are out there looking like a bunch of goofballs. And in the beginning of the year, I thought there was like highs and lows, but we had a good majority of highs to keep us on the game and keep us amped up. And somewhere along all of these patches, we went from getting a ton of highs and just a bit of lows to now like the lows are outweighing the highs. I think it's really important that you guys sound off in the comment section. If you guys have any idea of what I'm talking about, share your thoughts in the comment section, because that's been my experience playing 2K23. And I don't want to deter any players from getting on the game, because I personally feel like playing it from a casual perspective, you could really have some, like, find some enjoyment on 2K23. But it seems that the second you start trying to take it to another level, take your game to another level, that's when 2K is like tugging at your coattails and say, nah, B, get back. You ain't finna come up on 2K. There just seems to be like a lack of control. Because when players feel like they have control, this is when you see players start progressing their game and getting much better at the game. But all too often, we're out there queuing up combinations or queuing up particular dunks, which you all know you only set up these particular dunks as your animations to finish in the paint. And 2K is putting us in completely different animations that we didn't even queue up. The main problem that I have with that is that this used to not be the 2K way. One of the main things that made 2K fun is that, you know, when you performed the particular queue up on your controller, performed an animation, that's what you were gonna see on the screen. So much so that way back in NBA 2K16, a lot of folks were getting these chase down blocks on 2K16. So folks realized that if you just lay the rock up on a fast break, you have a greater chance of completing that fast break for 2 points, only because the dunk animation had a little bit more time on it than a layup animation. It's those factors that help folks learn how to play the game. But in NBA 2K23, there is just too much guessing. I beg of 2K to give players back that control that we once had. I know from 2K's standpoint as a developer, you're trying to kind of bring the realism of basketball to the 2K players and 2K player base, but unfortunately you guys are failing at that. So bring it back. Let us play a video game. We understand we're on a video game. We don't need you guys getting involved, turning our dunking animations into contact layup animations. Get out the game, 2K does. Mike Wang, somebody sound off on them boys, because what we mainly need is fun. Bring the fun back, 2K. We're gonna have a bunch of tournaments going off in order to bring that fun back within our Discord community. If y'all interested in winning large cash prizes for the tournaments that we're hosting within our Discord community, definitely go down below and click that link to our Discord. A bunch of new events to help bring 2K players together and try and help in our own little small way to revitalize the experience playing 2K. I will be going live later on today with that tournament. I may even consider going live just to connect with you guys, see how you're feeling about 2K in 2023. Super exciting days to come. Again, wishing you all a safe and blessed New Year's Day to you and your family. Y'all be sure to keep it locked right here at AllCity Live TV, because we got a bunch more NBA 2K23 news, information, and updates coming your way. Be sure to drop a like, drop a sub on your way out. Catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.